there's all kinds of scenes that I respond to in movies. I respond to music sequences. I respond to big comedy sequences. It was like they galvanized the entire theater. Everybody woke up. Everybody got connected, and I would go see a film that had a sequence like that. I would see it 2 or 3 times at the theaters just to see that sequence, and then just to have that experience with an audience.
Welcome to Making Tarantino, the podcast. I'm your host, Philip Duke. On this podcast, we go through a list of movies that Quentin Tarantino likes or recommends to see what they're all about and if maybe they've influenced his work. And there will be spoilers for everything. Welcome back, everybody, season 4. Today, I'm joined once again by Erik Clapp from Cinema Force on YouTube. Hello, Erik.
Hello, Phil. Thanks for having me on yet again. I feel like I've been on here too much. I think I need to take a break after this. I think people are going to get really tired of me. But congrats on season 4.
Thank you. Yeah, I was thinking that. I was thinking like, oh yeah, we just did. There will be blood. But yeah, no, you haven't been on too much. You're barely on.
Well, I know I was 4th choice. I know you had Craig number 1, Antonio 2, and I think you had who else? Rich in front of me. I know I'm the 4th choice, but it's okay. I'm good with that. I'm fine.
It'll work. I got everybody else set up for later, so it's okay. No, thank you. Thank you. Season 4. It's weird with this season, in case nobody knows, because I reached out to host, but I went ahead and did the randomizer for the whole season and then was like, here's the movies we're doing. What do you think? And then people are like, oh, I want that one. I want Once Upon a Time in the West. I want this. I want that. And I was like, okay. And then the other day I ran into a problem where the next show for you and I after this was going to be Aliens. And my friend said, oh, I'm going to be working for Iridium Satellite. I'll be in Virginia and I can't do it. And I'm like, okay. So then I did the randomizer again, was going to do a Jackie Chan movie. And then I asked her, can you do the next week? She said, yeah. So we're set up. So I had to rearrange some stuff, but we're good.
Yeah, that's cool.
So yeah.
I do have some questions for you if you don't mind me hijacking the show.
Here we go.
Second.
No, go for it.
All right. So now that your show's been on for several years, you've gotten to know a lot more people, right? And I was just wondering, since you've had a lot of guests, like, how are you doing? Like, how do you feel about the show?
I feel it's very interesting. Thank you for that question. Thank you for that question, everybody. From here, I gotta go talk to a Japanese syndicate. Not a mob syndicate, but I'm doing a press junket. It was funny. Season 3 was one where when I had Jennifer Ashley on, I watched all of her movies, went in, I was a little nervous. I couldn't sleep before it. I was like, oh my God, like trying to sleep that night. Then we did the show and it was fine. It was good. And I had my questions and then when I had Sam Furstenberg on, I thought, oh my God, this is going to be worse. I'm going to be not being able to sleep. But that morning I was like, honey, you want to watch, Revenge of the Ninja? And she's like, no. And I'm like, okay. And then I went right to bed and then woke up and had I was a little nervous, but not too nervous. And then Julie Klausner, I made the joke about, I saw her on her TV show, is great, called Difficult People. And I was like, oh my God, why are you slumming it here? And she was like, no, don't be that way. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's me. It's like Bruce Lee always said, like, if you start mocking yourself or making fun of yourself, you're going to start believing it. Your body will believe it. So I was like, yeah, I need to. So I think people think the numbers are bigger than they are, but they're not. But that's what's great is you can't follow the numbers. Like my cousin was always like, I want to do YouTube and I'm going to get all these numbers. And I'm like, you need to just do it do it, to have fun. So, and that's
you can get kind of lost in all that stuff. And
yeah. So
But
yeah,
yeah, okay.
it's
So that leads me kind of into my second question.
okay.
So, what do you see for the future of your show? Are you going to have more actor and directors and appearances? Are you going to tweak the format any at all?
It's I had thought about that. That's what was with Jennifer Ashley. I was like, oh, this is awesome. I can knock out two movies in one go. Like knock out Pom Pom Girls and Paradise, Phantom of the Paradise. But also like I would have liked to do just a Phantom of the Paradise episode, which I could still do, but I'm like, no, I'm good. Because I have like this show is gonna last till I'm like 61 years old or whatever, 62, whatever. Um, but yeah, I was thinking about that of like reaching out to people when before I was like, oh, I don't know. And then I'm like, oh, I can, reach out to people like Antonio told me, if you want to pay, Barbara Crampton will do your show for like $100, or what's her Diane Franklin will do it for like 50. But then like you and I've talked about, like Andrew Robinson, to have him on would be amazing, because the first time before I saw Dirty Harry was I saw that the Liberace movie, and I was like, oh my god,
Oh
this
yeah,
guy, it's amazing.
I always
um
forget about that one.
and so I would love to have him on and just talk about that. Or like even I might have reached out to her, but I should probably go through the proper channels of Susan, the girl from Venom, not the new Venom, but the other one. The blonde girl, Dirty Mary Crazy Larry.
Venom.
What's her
Oh,
name?
I don't know.
Susan George. So I
Oh
had
yeah, yeah.
give me credit for pulling a name out of my brain. So Susan George, I was thinking about like having her on, like some of these people who are on these shows, like all the Walking Talls are on here. I heard it's kind of difficult to get a hold of Bo Svensson, but he's been on YouTube or on Instagram where he'll just pop up, hey, I'm doing this thing. So I'm like, oh, maybe I should reach out to him.
Yeah,
That might be fun. And being as he's in Switzerland, wherever, or somewhere, like I'm up all night, so I can do that. That makes the show easier.
yeah. And
Easier.
I think he follows Cinema Force too,
Oh,
if
that's
I'm
cool.
not mistaken. I could be wrong,
Yeah.
but
So yeah, those are the things. I don't think like any major, famous, people, whatever. I haven't. My thing is that's what was cool. I didn't have the goal to have Jennifer Ashley on, but then when they had her on, and I didn't know much about her, and I was like, oh, and when Bill and Sam had her on Driving Asylum, I was like, hey, can you hook me up with her so I can, have her on the show? And they
yeah,
were like, she would love to be on there. And then she comes on and we had a wonderful time. And then with Sam Furstenberg promoting Riverbend, I was like, okay, let's go through all these movies. And and then
well, that's the way it works. You know, it's all about the connections, and the more people you have on and meet, you know, they will. I mean, because I met Sam Furstenberg at the Riverbend
yeah.
screening in Denton, Texas, and then he introduced me to Mike
Mhm.
Dennis, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And then yeah, and then you needed a guest for a show really quick, and I recommended Mike to you, and then
yeah.
you roundabout got Sam Furstenberg. So it's cool how everybody just sort of like kind of interconnects and stuff like that. So
Yeah, it's well, and then that's the other thing when Riverbend starts to come out on Blu-ray, whatever, then maybe they'll come around again and be like, do you want to have somebody on? And
sure.
maybe I can have, Viola Davis's husband on, or he was like the he was the co-actor. Why can't I think he was the other
Co-star.
actor, the co-star? Thank you, Jesus. He was a co-star with Steve James, and then all that guy's all these people. It would just be cool. So I have thought about it, but not intently went to pursue it. But I should, because
Yeah,
otherwise I'll just be like, twiddling my thumbs and not doing anything. When it does make me feel
yeah,
good when, although it's funny when you're at your house with your wife and I'm like, honey, I can't believe it. I'm gonna be interviewing Sam Furstenberg, the director of Breaking Two,
yeah,
Electric Boogaloo. And she's like, who? I have no idea what you mean.
yeah.
Like,
Well, and also too, as a follower of your show,
mhm.
to know that that was coming out, you
Yeah,
know, was exciting, and it was also something different. Like I knew you weren't gonna do the typical format with Sam, it was going to be more of an interview like you did with Ashley as well. So
Yeah.
it was something. It broke the it broke. Not to say that your show is monotonous,
Right.
but
Right. But you're
it broke
saying the show's
it broke the
monotonous.
format. It was something different. It was like
Yeah.
special. It didn't. So I think that more stuff like that you sprinkle in is really cool.
Yeah, yeah. I think thank you. I like I said, it was so weird of me being so nervous with Jennifer Ashley, and then especially when she's like, she went to plug in her iPad and it went like to a black screen. And I'm like, hang on, I can't see you now. So then
Yeah.
she's like, well, I'll just run on battery. I'm like, okay. And then toward the end, she's like, I got 10% battery. I'm like, okay, wait, can you hear this thing from Babylon? She's like, okay. Which was cool that I got to have her listen to what Quentin said about Pom Pom Girls, him and Roger and Gala. And so that was cool. And then Sam Furstenberg was just like a cool hang, like such a
Yeah.
bright light and
Good
such,
guy.
just I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. Um, and then, Julie Klausner was like, yeah, I'm gonna talk musicals. And I'm like, holy shit, I just realized talking to her that I don't know, I thought that I've watched musicals. I haven't watched as many as I thought. Like she's like, have you seen Cabaret? I'm like, no. Have you seen, no. I've seen
Yeah.
Seven Brides for Seven Brothers and whatever.
Okay.
But anyway,
Well, I mean, yeah, I'm finished. So, if you want to zip up,
all right.
we
Yeah,
can
yeah.
continue
Thank
the
you.
show.
Oh my gosh. What a fluffer, right? Yeah. Uh no, it's so I haven't actively went because then I sent that list for the randomizer, said who wants to do it. People wrote back who've been on the show this year or in season 3 and was like, okay, I'll do this. I want to do that. And I was like, oh, somebody already got that. So like Scott from Church of Tarantino wanted some other movies, and I was like, that's already been picked. So he's like, okay, I'll take this one. So I'm like, okay. And then with him talking about people like Quentin Tarantino reached out to him to be like, hey, I want to be on your show. And he's like, okay. And he's got him coming back for season 5 for his show. And
Yeah, that's
he's
cool.
gonna, so I'm like, that's cool. So those are the things that you just growing up, you have no idea, like, oh my God, I could reach out to so and so. Like now things are different. And that when you meet people, you're like, oh my God, you're not, you know, Sam Furstenberg isn't like, oh, I'm above you or whatever. He's like, yeah, let's talk about, what I went through and, all this stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, rate, review, and subscribe to us wherever you get your podcast. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And if you want more talk like this, I'm still doing the Patreon, guys. Phil on Cinema on Patreon, and you can sign up there for the Patreon only podcast. I don't release it later. I just keep it there behind the paywall. It's only $5 a month. You get 2 episodes. You either get an episode and a press kit later in the month, or you just get, 2 episodes. And I'm having a lot of fun. I do Shaping Scorsese, the podcast. I do The Power of Film. I do physical media collecting that we're doing right now, that we're finishing up with, not finishing up with what I have now. And then, in March, there'll be more stuff. And then I'll be coming back in May for more we're going to do The Irishman with a prosecutor who kind of worked on that case with the chauffeur of the Joe Pesci character. So
Oh, excellent.
very
That's
cool.
that's
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah. So that'll be
Yeah,
fun.
it's a fun time. I enjoy being on that adventure you're doing too on Patreon. I really enjoyed our top 10 of the year
Mhm.
discoveries. That was really fun.
Yeah,
Got we got a lot of good feedback on that too.
and that one exactly. That one was out for free. I put that one not behind the paywall, and I put it up on my YouTube channel. And you can find it on Cinema Force, right? They can go there and find it too, the link or
Yeah,
whatever. But something
yeah.
else I wanted to say, I've talked about it last season, but like, thank you for being a friend. Thank you for being a friend. Um, the I want to sing the
There's
whole
the
song.
earwig.
That's right. Travel back around the world and back again. My heart is true. Anyway, um, but like those are the things that not a lot of people will say. Things like, "Hey, it's like I've said before, and I don't want to be a broken record, but here we go. where, Rob was like, hey man, like people sign up for your Patreon because they want to hear you. It doesn't matter what your content is. They like making Tarantino. They like those discussions. So they tune into that to hear those. And I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, okay, thanks, kind of brushing it off a little. And then after we recorded, I wrote him and I was like, hey man, thanks for that. That really meant a lot. Like I took it in. Like you got to take some of that in. So like you do a lot of nice things for me. You sent me this camera, you sent me all these, press kits that are by my
Oh,
feet. Movies, like half of
yeah,
these movies are from you.
we should say that we should also say that even though this is not your show is not sponsored
Yes.
by YOLO Cam,
And as you
we
can
are
see,
both using the YOLO Cam, which is an amazing camera for under 200 bucks that you can get
yeah.
on Amazon, and it's the size of a GoPro and has the look of a professional DSLR. And for all you geeks, it's like a 1.5 inch sensor, so it's
a-
really good.
And as you can see on that picture, you can tilt it up so I could do Instagram videos or
Yeah,
whatever
16 by
for,
9. Yeah,
yeah. And so,
yeah,
yeah, it's, really cool. Um, which is good because then, like before, when I would record these, we would be side by side. I didn't do speaker view. So we'd be side by side. And then I would try to share it and it would be half of my face, half of your face. And I'm like, nobody can get the gist of our conversation. Now I've done it with speaker view where I could share things. But also with that other long way, I could see what's in frame. I could do shorts. I could do whatever, which I do need to talk about what's coming for this season. I need to get better with social media. I need to know how to do videos and videos of like promo things or just like I do those in-car reviews when I get out of a movie. I should probably do that if I watched like last night. I watched Nightmare Alley, the black and white one, and I was like, wow, that was really cool. Um,
yeah.
so I need to like sit down and like, here we go. We're gonna, do a little review. But anyway, on with the show. I don't know. I remember Tarantino talking about this movie. I don't remember where. Unfortunately, I didn't look it up. I'm sorry. But he knows it is the police connection. And I remember I used to hear about that. And then I heard about the Mad Bomber, and I was like, okay, wait, which should we? And then you find out, oh, they're all the same. It's the same movie, also known as Geronimo, which we'll get to in a second. But this movie, so I was at the store and I found it used for like $12.99, and it still had the slipcase on it and the reversible sleeve, and it's amazing. And I was like, oh my God, I got to pick this up. And I did, and I brought it home, and or no, yeah, sorry. I had watched it first online, and I was like, that was really good. I got to get that movie. And then I went and got it.
Yeah.
But what's funny about that, I'll let you talk later at the end of the show. What's funny about that is that you were like, look, we told you it'd be spoilers. You were like, oh my God, I just watched Mad Bomber, that thing where Neville Brand's masturbating and then Chuck Connors like
Yeah.
throws a bomb in there. You go, that's amazing. And I go, I don't remember that. And you're like, how do you fucking not remember? Do you even watch movies? Do you even like movies?
It's like the greatest scene in
Yeah.
cinema history, in my opinion.
Exactly. And I'm like, oh my God, how did I miss that? Was I on my phone? I don't know, but
Yeah.
anyway.
Well, that's where like I heard about the film and that's why I got it was that scene. I don't I was trying to think the other day as I'm aging rapidly. I don't remember where I heard about the film. It was probably a podcast somewhere. I think
Thinking
it
it
may
was
have been
pure cinema.
it could have been pure cinema too, but I remember someone specifically describing
Oh,
the scene that we'll talk about later.
yeah.
And just them describing it, I
Yeah.
immediately went on Amazon and ordered that movie, and I could not wait for it to get here. And then I
Yeah.
watched it, and I was really surprised about how good it was. And
Yeah.
then, later on, I found out more about the director, and I was like, oh wow, I've actually seen quite a few of this guy's movies, but never knew who he was. So
Yeah,
yeah,
but
it's an amazing movie.
but that's also what his daughter said that he would say is if you notice a movie because of that director, the director's not doing his job. If you can watch that movie and not even realize the camera work or anything in it, it's great.
Yeah,
But also talking about that Nightmare Alley, like there's shots in there that there's things of like you and I've talked about it off mic and stuff. Steven Spielberg's Munich has some really cool camera moves that you don't even notice because just so fluid of like going from that phone booth over to the thing and back into the car, like, and sometimes there's stuff that is done for like, oh, they're showing off. Like this is somebody
Yeah.
showing off. Michael Bay going through the bullet hole and around, Martin Lawrence and them and coming back and like, come on. But then there's
Yeah.
stuff that, but
Well, I mean, make no mistake, this movie, The Mad Bomber, is not
yeah.
some sort of masterpiece
Right.
of cinema.
Right.
It's a average to decently made movie, but it's crafted well.
Yeah.
It does the job that it needs to do to tell the story, and that's all it does. But it's just the audaciousness of it, which we'll get into, is what makes it special, and it's just kind of unique. Like I can't really say that I've ever seen anything quite
Yeah.
like this. It's just really bizarre.
And that it doesn't go like it goes this procedural route that's really cool, that it doesn't like, just okay, we got to find this guy. Like they're doing both things together,
Yeah.
like taking their time, and you're like, oh, that's really cool.
Well, and
But
all three of your main characters, good, bad, and the ugly, are
mhm.
all kind of dysfunctional people,
Yeah, I
you
I
know?
was thinking that when I'm
And
watching it, I'm
yeah,
like, I'm rooting for Chuck Connors, right? Is that how we're supposed to root for Chuck? No, I'm like, but also like
yeah,
the cop is despicable, and I don't know if you read this, but they were maybe going to do 6 films that they said that Vince Edwards had said, oh
oh
yeah, I
wow, I
said they
didn't
were
know
going to
about
do 6 of these of me being Geronimo Manelli, and then all of a sudden, like this one came out, and I could see them being like, oh, let's do not a Matt Helm thing, but let's do French Connection 2. Like those are big. Like, let's go ahead and do this. And but also like he's kind of despicable. Like Popeye Doyle's despicable, but you're like, oh, that's a real guy. Like that's.
it. Yeah, you could
Um,
definitely feel the French Connection kind of,
yeah.
vibe in it. Like they're definitely trying to go for that sort of feel.
Yeah, but it is, and then it's funny where I'll just get to this now because these are the things that I have where they were each signed
Yeah,
on for the movie. Vince Edwards, Chuck Connors, Bird Eye Gordon, and the other guy, the producer, that they call Gross, I think. They were all they signed up for 25% of the gross, like at the end of the film. Like they'll
yeah,
make their money. That guy took all their money and they got nothing. Like all they got was what they got paid. Like it's crazy.
yeah.
Um,
Well, I think Gordon. I think I heard, excuse me, on the commentary that Gordon and Chuck were had attempted to do a production company, I think, previously,
mhm.
and it kind of fell through. And this was kind of some of the remnants of that deal. But
Well,
you gotta get into the plot, man.
I,
People
I'm,
the
I'm, I'm,
public needs to know what's ahead of them.
I know I'm at you. I'm with you. The tagline, it will blow your mind. The Mad Bomber, aka the Police Connection, aka Geronimo, 1973. The plot: Los Angeles detectives Manelli and Blake must track down a serial rapist who may know the identity of a mentally disturbed bomber. Starring Vince Edwards. That gets you right there. Like I'm like, what? Like you've never done. There's never been a movie like this. Like let's go after this guy, and he's kind of like, I don't care who you've raped, just and killed. Like he raped the one and left her, but
Yeah,
then the one in the woods he kills, and
right. And
it's
we're not laughing about rape at all. It's just the
right.
situation of this
It
movie is just
it's
insane.
it's the bomber
It's like
who's so
we have to work with a horrible rapist in order
yeah.
to stop these bombs from going off in
Yeah,
LA.
yeah. It's almost like when I watch those murder shows, it'll be like, well, I can tell you everybody, but I want less of a thing. Well, you still killed the guy, but we'll give you 10 years and we'll give and it's like,
Yeah.
okay. But with him, it's like, come on, but he got his just due. Vince Edwards as Lieutenant Geronimo Manelli, Chuck Connors as William Dorn. Now, look, I used to watch The Rifleman, and I was like,
Oh,
okay,
hell
he's
yeah.
cool. Like, I love that gun. Like, it's an awesome gun. Um, and then all of a sudden I was like, I remember like I didn't much care for him, but he does have like that cool face. Like him and Neville Brand have that face. Like you're like, oh my God, this
Yes.
is like,
Yeah, yeah.
it's like um Guillermo del Toro was saying that the why can't I think of his name? The Hellboy. He said he's got this face, and that's why I
Oh
put
yeah,
him in
yeah,
every
yeah.
movie.
Ron Perlman, yeah.
Ron Perlman,
Yeah.
yes, the best face and the best voice. But and then my dad, I think I told this story on one of the seasons, who knows when. My dad, one day, I find my dad has this porno of like movie stars that are naked in movies. And so one of them was, of course, the Italian Stallion movie with Stallone, where he's like naked in the shower
Hmm.
before Rocky's trying to make money. And then another one was like um um fuck. I just thought of
And
her
is
name
the
before the
Andrew
show.
Robinson porn?
That's no, God no. Um no, it was
I think that one was called
Hetty
Give It to Me, Garrick from
Het,
Deep Space Nine.
Hetty Lamar is from Ecstasy in a movie called Ecstasy in the like late 20s, early 30s. And she's like naked. And they were like, oh my gosh. There was that. But then there was one of a guy, it was a gay porno in like in a field, and this guy's having sex with another guy. And they were like, we think it might be Chuck Connors, but we don't have proof, but it looks like Chuck Connors. My dad, since seeing that, was like, oh, Chuck Connors is gay. Like just
Yeah.
like wouldn't hear like I go, I don't think it was Chuck Connors. I think it looks like him, but I don't think you never know. I'm like, no, this was
Yeah.
around,
That's like the gerbil thing with
yeah, yeah, with Richard Gere. The
Richard Gere, yeah.
But like I love Chuck Connors in like Tourist Trap. Like I don't much care for Tourist Trap, but I
Mhm.
like him being like a bad guy. Like, and in this with those small glasses that even don't go around his ears, they just kind of ride up, a
Yeah.
little bit.
It's like basically like goggles or something.
Yeah, yeah. It's so yeah, really small. So cool.
Yeah,
Neville, go ahead.
my thing with Chuck Connors was The Rifleman as well. Like we
Mhm.
watched, I mean, I've probably seen every episode of The Rifleman. Like we watched that show religiously when I was a kid and reruns and stuff.
Yeah.
And I remember his son. I remember the opening to The Rifleman is like one of the
Yeah.
best
Oh yeah.
TV openings of all time.
Yeah.
And then later on, in life, when Fox Network started with Married with Children and some of those shows, they had a show on there called Werewolf. And Chuck Connors was like the bad werewolf, like
Oh
the
wow.
evil,
Yeah.
like werewolf. And so I was a big fan of that show.
Mhm.
And he was pretty old in that. This is like 87, 88, maybe. And so he was so evil in that show. And so that sort of changed my perception of Chuck Connors from the rifleman to the evil werewolf guy. So
That
this movie was like kind of cool for me because I got to see him as like a villain again, you know?
Well, it's interesting too with actors where I think I've told this story, but hey, we're on season 4. My dad goes, I hate Henry Winkler being Fonzie. Like he thinks he's cool and he thinks he's tough. And I'm like, and he goes, he's just a little guy. Like I'd fucking beat the shit out of him. I go, Dad, it's a part that he plays. So then I show him like Night Shift and that wrestling movie. And he goes, oh my God, he's funny. Like I go, yeah, he's playing a part. And it's the thing where when I saw when I watched First Blood, I hate fucking Jack Starrett in that movie. I'm like, this guy's a fucking piece of shit. The guy that falls out of the helicopter, spraying him
Yeah.
with the water, get behind the ears. And then I find out later doing this show, Jack Starrett's a fucking director who's directed some amazing shit. And he just showed up for that movie to be like, yeah, I'll be in it.
Yeah.
But it's the thing of acting. Same thing. I used to hate Brian Dennehy because of First Blood. Then you
Right.
see Tommy Boy and FX, and you're like, oh, he's not a bad guy.
Yeah.
And it's that flip. And then same thing. I watched Disclosure, and I'm like the Demi Moore one, not the Steven Spielberg. But I was like, oh my God, this is, she's really good because I hate her. Like I hate
Yeah.
her. And
Right.
it's the acting where Chuck Connors, you're not thinking rifleman, you're just like, oh my God, this guy,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, and also too for Neville Brand, I had only seen him in Eaten Alive, when I was
Oh,
young,
yeah.
probably in high school.
Yeah.
And so that was my my image of Neville Brand was Eaten Alive, directed by Toby Hooper, where he played like this deranged
I have it.
hotel owner with alligators.
I have it right back there that you sent me. But something with that,
Yeah.
I think the first time I saw him was DOA and the original, and he's like being a real bad. And I'm like, who is this guy? He's fucking badass, and he's a bad guy. And I hate him. I love to hate him. And then all of a sudden, I am like, oh, Neville Brand. And then I watch Eaten Alive, and I'm like, oh. And then I watch this, and I'm like, okay, like really cool
Yeah,
to
and
see
you
him.
you really like the Kansas City Confidential, which he's in
Yeah,
too, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, he's
yeah.
really good in that. And the thing about Neville Brand is just like Chuck Connors, he has a very unique face and
Mhm.
also a very unique voice.
Yeah.
Like he's a unicorn. Like you've never seen a human being like look or talk like this.
Yeah, he's Neville Brand as George Fromley, Hank Brandt as Inspector Blake, Christina Hart as Fromley's victim. She's the first one. That let's talk about that. It's when she jumps off the roof. How do you think they did that? Do you think she jumped on something? You think they moved the camera? Like her legs are in the air when they film her jumping off the roof. Like, you know,
It could have been a different
it's
part of the roof where there was like a
it's
mattress or something
well,
or
that's what I'm thinking. But the way it is, it's just filmed so well where you're like, holy shit.
yeah.
Like it's, um, but Faith Quabius as Martha, Ilona Wilson as Miss Fromley. So yeah, that's what's weird too. I was gonna watch the TV cut because when the cop goes to the house and goes into Neville Brand's back room, guest house, there's all
His
these pictures of his
his
wife.
Jack and Shack.
Jack Shack, yeah. All the pictures of his wife, which kind of cool that it's not other women. It's just his wife.
Yeah.
Of course he's going out
Right.
raping other women, but so I guess maybe his wife's like, "Oh, you really love me. Okay, I'll forget that you've been gone for hours." Um, but
Yeah.
but I don't know how they would do the TV version when he walks in. It's just, because it shows like everything up there.
Yeah, they said that they had filmed different shots because in the commentary I remember them talking about the strip club scene. And if you
Mhm.
notice in that scene too, like every single shot has nudity in it. Every reverse shot,
Yeah.
like there's naked girls behind his head in
Yeah.
focus. All that's going on, but they said when they did that for TV, they shot a different version where the girls weren't there.
Okay.
Like it
Yeah,
was the
it's
door was shut or
like National
yeah.
Lampoons would do that. I'd rent it from Redbox and it would be like, and then you'd be like, oh, wait, this is the rated version. So it'd have
Yeah.
everybody in bikinis, or the Harold and Kumar where they have bikinis and then they take them off on the unrated one. And you're like, okay.
Yeah.
Nancy Hanold as Ann Dorn. So written by Mark Bem, came up with the story, and then Bird Gordon wrote the screenplay. So, and directed by Bird Gordon, which is from a movie that you had on your discoveries. So, first of all, I did randomizer for this whole season, except for this one, where you were like, we got to do the Mad Bomber. And I'm like, okay, that'll be season premiere. Like, we'll do it. So, but Bird Gordon did, what was it called?
Yeah.
Village of the Giants or Land of the Giants?
Um, well, just to back up a little bit.
Okay.
So, as when I was a kid, this movie haunted my
Hmm.
dreams.
Hmm.
Empire of the Ants. And this was based on a H.G. Wells, yeah, sure, uh, movie. And I saw it on TV as I was a kid. It came out in '77 and it was on TV pretty quickly. And this was Bird Gordon, aka known as Mr. Big, because he made all these movies about giant people or animals, like,
I've heard
things
the
getting
Food of the
big.
Gods is
So,
great. I need to see the Food of the Gods.
yeah.
And just to stop for a
And
second, did
yeah,
is I his real middle initial, or did he change it, make it
I have
big
no
so it's
idea.
BIG? Okay, but that's
I don't know, but
brilliant.
it's perfect.
He didn't mean it to happen, but it happened. Yeah.
Yeah. And then this was the one of my discoveries of the year, which was Village of the Giants, which is
Village.
about
Yeah.
a small town of like a little Mayberry town, and some like angsty teens accidentally get turned gigantic by Opie Cunningham, aka Ron Howard, and terrorize the town. And so Empire of the Ants was like kind of my first film of his that I've seen. And when I watched The Mad Bomber, I had no idea that he had directed it. I wasn't even really paying attention. I was just more kind of into the movie. So I was really thrilled that I had actually seen I've seen four of his movies and I had no idea they're all made by the same guy.
Yeah, well, especially you're like, it's not a big movie, so this is, different. But also, to go back to that Village of the Giants, something that his daughter said that was funny. She said, so she's in that movie, and she goes, so we would have school on set. And she goes, so me and Ron Howard are having school, and she goes, Ron Howard's playing this genius. She ended up being a math teacher and stuff. But she's like, when it would get to math, he had no idea. Like he wasn't good at math. She goes, so we'd make fun of him of like, you're a genius who created this thing in the movie, but you can't really do math. So
Yeah.
that was a interesting story.
Yeah, I mean, and also too on the commentary when they're talking about Gordon as a director,
Mhm.
they were talking about how the Mad Bomber is kind of an outlier of his filmography. Like, there's
Mhm.
nothing else that he did. He never did any other cop procedural type things, I don't think.
Yeah.
And he's mostly known for these like gigantic animal movies, terrorizing people.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, Empire of the Ants was a huge, huge movie. Like whenever it would come on, like my friend cross street would come over and we get ready to watch Joan Collins get eaten by the giant ant.
And is this after you knew her from Dynasty, and then you were like, "That's that girl from Dynasty"?
I think I knew of her from Dynasty, yeah,
Yeah.
but I never watched Dynasty. But
Right. Right. I would sometimes with the grandma, grandpa. Let me write that down. Empire of the Giants. I mean Empire of the Ants, and then Village of the Giants.
yeah,
I need to see those.
and Food of the Gods. I don't think he did Food of the Gods Part Two. That came out like in 80, 89, 90,
Right.
something like
And
that.
he lived to be like 100. Like, and that's
Yeah,
the thing.
if you listen to the commentary on Empire of the Ants or Food of the Gods, he's got commentary on both, but he's very, very, very weak and frail.
Oh wow.
And there's a moderator with him to ask him questions because he gets a little confused or,
Right.
doesn't quite recall anything. But, he was a trooper though. He got through two of these commentaries and they're fairly new releases. So I
Well,
don't know when he passed away, but
it was 2023, I think. That's
okay, so
where
these are pretty new commentaries then.
that's where also the thing with Gloria Stewart doing the audio commentary for the old dark house. They were saying like she sometimes messed up things. She was like, "Oh, that guy was married to this girl," and blah blah. And they were like, "No, that's actually she kind of got that wrong." On Blu-ray.com, they were like, she would kind of forget, but she's older and she's doing the commentary probably after Titanic, like So, but that's what we need, more like either old directors talking about shit, or just have the person like look up and like have Kim Novak be on some audio commentaries real quick, like before she passes, and we don't get those stories that might be unlocked when she's watching Vertigo or something.
Yeah. Yeah, I just watched a really cool thing on YouTube. Phil Collins is not in great health from
Mhm.
Genesis, and Phil Collins, of course, and his son, who is his, drummer now, since Phil can't drum, he just set
Mhm.
up a camera and just recorded Phil and asked him everything about every
Wow.
damn album.
Yeah.
And edited it down into like a 2 hour documentary for drummers,
Yeah.
and has other interviews with drummers and really cool documentary. And I'm glad that his son did that because,
Yeah.
you just never know. And it's a lot of stuff that I'd never heard about before, and I consider myself a pretty big Phil fan.
Yeah, my buddy, when his grandma died once, he was like, me and my brother, he works for Channel 5 for the news. He was like, me and my brother are going to go record all of our living family members and get their story. And they did with their dad and with their mother, and then they never went any further. And it's like, Need to stick
Yeah.
with it. Like we need that history of, like I've always
Well,
said, like with regular culture, like Native American culture, is that being passed down like it should? Or is it now, the new age and people are just like, whatever, what'd grandma do? Well, yeah, who cares?
yeah, she worked at a bank.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but yeah, well, also too, like it's also if you're the kid doing that, it can also be something that you
Right.
don't want to think about.
Emotional. Yeah, yeah. Well, it's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
my dad, whenever I ask my dad, like my dad's still alive, my mom passed away. But with my dad, I'm like, Dad, what do you want when it comes time to die? Like, do you want to be pull the plug? But I don't want to talk about it. Okay, Dad. Well, just know that when I get the call, I'll be like, unplug him, save some power. No. But anyway, um, but but also it's hard on you as a child of part of the family being like, oh my God, but they learned stuff from
yeah,
their dad that was like, oh my God, I never knew this. And
yeah,
but it is that thing of just history. I've said it before, like you need Sean Baker, somebody talking to the new directors about things and talking to Guillermo del
yeah,
Toro and all these people of like,
yeah,
it's like we said about, Steven Spielberg. It sucks that he's never done an audio commentary. And I can kind of get where, in a way, he's like, I don't know what I'm going to do till I get there. And I'm like, oh, let me look. And then, he'll set something up. But other than that, it's like, but then there's somebody, this Bird Eye Gordon, it just brought me up that Bird Eye Gordon, there's a photographer on set and he was taking pictures from another angle of something. And Bert goes, what are you doing? And he goes, I'm taking a picture. He goes, why he goes, because this is a better shot. Because it's a good shot. And he goes, don't you think that I know where I have the camera is the better shot? And you're like, well, come on. Like, really? All right.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Um, but
yeah. No, but that's what's great
yeah.
about what we do is, me watching this Mad Bomber movie from something that I probably heard on another show, and
Mhm.
then I watch it, I think it's great, and then I talk to you, you've seen it, you love it, and then we watch it, and then you realize like, holy shit, this is the same guy that made Empire of the Ants. Like this movie is like, this, and now I've discovered this guy. Now I want to see like some other stuff that he's done. So
Yeah.
that's just really cool.
Yeah. It's always, well, and that's what else is fun that I've said before about I like finding new discoveries in this film, in a movie that you're like, you watch it maybe once and you're like, okay, it was good. You watch it again for the podcast and you dive a little deeper and you're like, oh, that was actually, or maybe I had my head up my ass and I didn't watch it proper. Like now I see it. Um,
Yeah,
but also just the rabbit holes that it takes you on. Then all of a sudden you're like, oh, let me look up more stuff by this guy and that guy and,
yeah.
what,
Well, I don't know if you, uh, I think it was in the commentary, but they were saying that both like Chuck Connors, Vince Edwards, and Neville Brand were all in the show Police Story at
oh,
some
wow.
point,
Yeah.
And I
That's a
think
good
that
show.
I think they said Neville Brand might have been in Ben Casey too with Vince Edwards,
I
but I
think
can't
so.
remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, I may have got that one reversed, but
Well, and then of
um,
course Chuck Connors in Branded, where you kind of go, I've heard of Branded, and then you watch Big Lebowski, and you're like, Branded? Oh shit! Like they're
yeah,
talking about Branded.
yeah.
But
All right,
yeah.
well, let's get on with this damn
All
movie because
right.
there's
All
so
right.
much good stuff to talk about.
That is correct. Let's get to listener opinions.
Man, I don't even have an opinion.
Well, you gotta have an opinion.
Fred Schaefer on Twitter wrote, quote, Connors and Brand, you can't get any better than that. In Film We Trust on Twitter wrote, quote, not seen this, another to add to the pile. Ha, thanks, end quote. Richard Harlan Smith on Twitter wrote, quote, a soul-scarring childhood favorite, end quote. John C. Bronson on the Making Tarantino, the podcast Facebook page, wrote, quote, The Mad Bomber, 1973. I had forgotten that I enjoyed Chuck Connors so much. He made 4 movies this year, 1973, including Soylent Green. He had a couple of successful Western series, The Rifleman, 58 to 62, and Branded, 65 to 66. I like Vince Edwards too, and recently enjoyed him and Stanley Kubrick's The Killing, 1956. That's on our list. The Killing is so fucking good. A film Tarantino used as a model for Reservoir Dogs, 1992. especially the rubber hobo mask for the robber disguises. Now for my personal connection, the store Chuck Connors got huffy about the price of canned peaches was Pronto Market, now Trader Joe's, at National and Overland in West LA, near my junior high and home. Also, exterior traffic shots on Pico Boulevard near Motor Avenue, right along 20th Century Fox Studios, now 21st, across from Rancho Park Golf Course. Very 1970s atmosphere, and I say this because the streetwalkers on Santa Monica Boulevard were blonde, white, and women. Actor Neville Brand lived on the ocean in Malibu and saved a neighbor's life during a storm in 1976. That neighbor was the father of my classmate. Brand also was a brave soldier in World War II, awarded both Medal of Honor and Silver Star. Proof of his incredible acting ability portraying a rapist. Movie was a nice way. Proof of his incredible acting ability portraying a rapist. Movie was a nice way to spend 91 minutes. End quote. And then Sean Wheeler on the Making Tarantino podcast page on Facebook wrote, quote, "It's okay, ... And I know his sense of humor kind of from hearing him on Church of Tarantino. So I think he likes it, which it is so odd. We won't have a word from our sponsor because you're here. But unless you want, I could play one.
That's okay. You don't have to play.
Okay.
It's
You
fine.
don't want to
Everybody
hear
just go to Cinema Forest
wanna-
and watch stuff and like and subscribe and
That's right.
all that jazz. It's a lot of
it's-
fun on there. We got some cool stuff.
It's
We got a new one dropping tomorrow. I don't. This doesn't air tomorrow, but
right.
Antonio
be up
Palacios
and-
from the Cult Worthy.
Yeah.
It does Let It Ride with Richard Dreyfuss. It's a good one.
That's awesome. Yeah, I need to see that movie. I need all the ones that you have on your show, your little video essays, whatever. I'm just like, oh, if I've seen it, I'm like, oh, I need to see it again. If I haven't seen it, I'm like, I need to check that movie out. That looks amazing. But
Cool.
now we're ready to discuss the movie.
Please, for
Yeah.
Christ's sakes,
It's him.
let's go.
First of all, that guy in the Porsche looked like you. But
I don't know if that's a compliment or not.
Kind of, yeah. You'd be like, hey, put my keys back. It's like on Die Hard 2 when they go, hey, turn that. They're on that moving sidewalk, and they go, hey, turn that back on. You're like, really? You guys can't walk? But anyway, so yeah, this starts with Chuck Connors following those girls. The girls are talking and they're just having a regular conversation, and then goes into the school and comes right back out. And all of a sudden this really cool explosion coming out of there. And then you're like, oh shit, like this is
And that explosion too is just like so. It feels like I don't. It's in slow motion, which makes it more kind of impactful because otherwise it would have been spinning in a boom pop. But the way the kids react to the explosion, they are like in extreme danger. Like they're getting hit by debris and they're falling on the ground. So I'm sure that was not an authorized deal. But that it's pretty intense, and it sets the stage for this is not going to be your normal, procedural.
Yeah, because nowadays I think all those people would be stunt people, and you'd be like, okay, we got, we're all safe, When there it was just like, okay, film, you guys will be kind of in the corner over here, so you won't get hit with it, but you'll get hit a little bit. It's like if you watch the end of Die Hard and they're coming down the stairs and that big boulder like hits that one guy in the head. It's pretty funny.
Yeah. Well, there's three kids, right? It's three guys, and two of them kind of like side split screen left and right, but one of them just like ducks and covers on the ground. Yeah, like he's really like scared, and I think that was real. Like he was like, holy shit, like what the hell just happened? And the other kid kind of spikes the camera too, like he kind of like looks over and just like, oh my.
Well, especially when you've heard that where an actor will be like, sure, have an explosion, whatever. The guy from the fucking World Is Not Enough, and who's James Bond? Pierce Brosnan was like,
Oh,
I
Pierce
get
Brosnan,
on this
sorry.
thing and I gotta like slide out, and there's gonna be explosion behind him. And he goes, it was really hot. And I'm like, gotta travel this thing for a long time.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of it, of like, we're gonna do an explosion, it'll be fine. And then you feel the heat and you're like, holy shit, or just,
Yeah.
chaotic. And that you can't look at it. So you're just like freaked out. Like, what did the whole thing explode? Like, they said it'd be
Yeah,
loud,
it's
but not
just it's
that
one of
loud.
those, it's when you see it, you just realize like there's no way that's happening today on a
Yeah.
set. Like,
Yeah.
I
Well,
mean, those kids are in danger of getting hit by some sort of, projectile, but it's like this is so low budget. It's just like just blow it up and you guys just run, just
yeah.
go.
Yeah. Yeah.
You could tell like there was no safety
It's
protocol here at all.
it's that chase in Night of the Juggler where it's like they just like, let's go, we got so much time, let's do
Yeah.
it. Um, but then what? Then it cuts to, oh yeah, and then he walks by that mental hospital, and then does he jump the fence then? Yeah, because he's gonna
No,
blow
that's a
it up.
little bit
Oh,
later.
that's later. Okay.
Yeah, well, yeah, yeah,
But
yeah. It's a little
yeah,
bit later,
because
but there's a whole. Yeah, I guess he does do it there. I guess you're right because he throws his bag up on that bar and then he
yeah, and then
kind of hops over.
because then it shows Neville Brand grabbing that girl. Like, she's, I don't know if she's trying to escape or what, but all of a sudden she goes into that one room. It's like Halloween 2. Except somebody worse than Mike Myers. It's a rapist. And he so now he corners her and rapes her, and you're just like, and she's grabbing for her doll. And then later when they're talking to her, then you see Vince Edwards, and she's doing sign language to tell what happened because she's a mute. And just all of that is like,
Well, yeah, and you
I'm
missed the
sorry,
bomb
did I?
too. Like
Oh, okay.
after
Yeah,
she's
yeah, I'm
been
sorry.
raped, the bomb goes off.
Yeah,
I mean, they kind of break that up, not so literally,
yeah,
but yeah, that bomb goes off and they're talking to her, but she's deaf, right? I
yeah,
think that's what. Yeah, she
yeah,
can't
deaf
speak.
mute or whatever. Yeah,
Yeah, and she's just traumatized. I mean, not only were you just
yeah,
raped, but a bomb went off right
yeah,
next to you, and that's where the genius or the crazy element of this film starts, is in that hospital closet, because
yeah,
Neville Brand's in there doing his raping, and just so happens Chuck Connors, the Mad Bomber, is hiding in there to set a bomb, and Neville Brand gets a look at him.
yeah,
And
yeah.
so,
It's
but then the girl that he raped can't speak and doesn't want to identify him because she's scared.
yeah.
And so now you've got this whole setups like, oh, we got to find, we have to find this rapist because he's the only one that can identify this bomber guy.
Well, and the thing of not even like with her, you don't have where it's just like, oh, like she's traumatized and she can barely speak, and but now you made her where she's sign language. Like, that's different. You're already starting different with, a bomber, with a rapist who can identify a bomber. So let's find the rapist to get the bomber. But now let's talk to her. Well, she can't talk, she does sign language. And then her being like, so, well, now that I think about it, like when she is sneaking out, was she going to kill herself anyway? And now this just pushed her more to like, or nobody's watching her and she goes up on the roof later when she kills herself. But
Yeah.
but yeah, it's so, this movie, like we said, is so daring, of like a police procedural, but totally different. Like, just, I don't know how to explain it. It's just where it's not just we need to
I mean,
find the bomber.
all I can think of is,
Yeah,
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 all I can think of is like the writer that comes up with that scene, and also the scene later that we'll
mhm,
discuss.
yeah,
He must have just like written that down, gone out in the neighborhood, gone for a walk, and just start high-fiving people.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, what a crazy idea You know, it's just so unlike anything you've ever seen. And plus, you've also got, you know, haven't talked about Vince Edwards,
Yeah.
who's, I guess, would you consider him the lead of this? I
Yeah,
mean,
I
it's
would
kind of
think
a
so.
three-way story, but
I would think so. He because but also he, like you said, like nobody, he's kind of a mean asshole who like will do
yeah,
anything to solve this crime, you know, where he's like even when he's like, well, that guy didn't do it, but that guy's still, a bad guy. Like you should go, but he's just like, I want that one guy, he's focused on this one thing. And
yeah,
but yeah, they're all, but the only good thing is like, well, this guy's a cop. I guess I'm supposed to go for him. And
yeah,
they're going crazy.
yeah. He's got like he has very unorthodox ways of being a detective, but he's working on a very unorthodox case.
Yeah.
And also too, he has something in common with Chuck Connors, which is they both have like an ex-wife situation,
Yeah.
you know, and so they're both kind of very similar in the fact that Chuck Connors as the bomber has these little confrontations throughout the film with different people on the street because he has to walk everywhere to he doesn't
Yeah.
have a car, I guess. So he has to walk everywhere to plant these bombs. So he runs into people and gets into arguments like the litterer, the guy that litters at the beginning of the
Yeah.
film. He lectures them on this is what's wrong with society or people like you and
Mhm.
the guy at the crosswalk. And Vince Edwards as the cop is almost the same type of guy. Like he wants to confront people. He wants confrontation. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
the bomber wants confrontation. They're
Yeah.
very similar type characters.
Yeah. Later on, when he's talking to his partner and he's like, must you eat those fucking pistachios? Like, but it's like, really? Like, I'm just eating
Yeah, that could have been
pistachios.
Chuck
Leave me
Connors.
alone. Yeah. Yeah. It's like,
Yeah.
oh my God.
Yeah.
And did you say it on mic or not about what we learned from that audio commentary about that, from the
Mm.
explosives expert?
No, I don't think we did. Yeah, on the commentary on this Severin disc, give them a
Yes.
plug for a good
Beautiful.
job. There is a commentary by let's see, Bomb Squad Detective Mike Digby, who used to work in LA. He has a commentary on there where he talks about how those little scenes with Chuck Connors at the intersections while he's walking, where he gets into arguments and lectures people about being a good person and this
Yeah.
is what's wrong with society or people like you. He said that was really cool to him because he goes, that fits the profile of bombers. They're agitated. They either lost their job, which in this case, Chuck Connors did lose his job in the movie, and so he's agitated at his former employer. And so he said that that is really good because most people that bomb are looking for an argument. They're looking for a confrontation because they have all this built up rage and they want to tell you why,
Yeah.
they're upset. They want to take you out. They want to confront you.
Yeah. They want to fight or whatever. Well, and that's the thing with, he talked about later, that bomb detective. He talks about how there was the way that they solve these crimes was like sometimes it's luck, and I'll hear that on these murder shows that I watch, of like, he said one of this big bomber that bombed for like years, and he would write letters taunting the police and to the newspaper or whatever, and they would print the letters out. And so he said, on her own, this girl that worked at his old factory went back and looked through, have we ever had anything, a disgruntled guy that used to work for us? And she found this, and she pulls it out and reads it, and it's exactly what,
Yeah.
his exact wording. And so then she calls the police and is like, hey, here's your guy. And they're like, okay. And they bust the guy.
Yeah.
And 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 then they were also saying that people don't know something that was really interesting. They said that Chuck Connors was a sheriff, like a deputized sheriff, that he could help out for
Yeah.
years, for like 30.
Like Shaq.
Yeah, exactly. And Steven Seagal. And
Yeah.
but better. more like Shaq. And so he said when he got with them was like how to make a bomb and stuff, and all they explained it to him. So he goes, that's how it's done, like it is in the movie. You're at a kitchen table, you're putting everything together. He goes, where people make the mistake is there'll be people on their chairs in their living room watching a show, and they would be putting a bomb together while they're watching a show and not thinking about what they're doing. And when you do the clock, you can only move it forward. You can't move it back. So they would move it all the way and it would hit the timer and it would explode. And it's like, oh my God. Yeah. And he goes, so it's more like listen to music, have your little radio like he does at the table. He goes, you don't have any extra shit. You have all the stuff that you need. I need the dynamite. I need the clock. I need this, and
Well, in this plot too, like Chuck Connors, the Mad Bomber, is also distraught over the death of his daughter
yeah,
from a drug overdose. So a lot of the places that he's bombing are places that his daughter frequented or places that he thinks that could have led to this heroin overdose.
yeah,
And one of the things that detective says in the commentary is that bombers usually don't bomb buildings or places with people in them to hurt the people. In fact, they usually will say, you need to get out, there's a bomb
yeah,
here, that they are literally just trying to cause financial harm to whoever they feel have wronged them.
yeah,
And they really don't want people to get hurt or anything like that because of their grievance, which I
yeah.
thought was really interesting. I never really thought of it like that. You think of a bomber as just
Yeah,
a
you think of
complete
Oklahoma City.
wacko.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
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 And
But there's usually a reason, why you know, there's a really good reason, and they do have empathy towards other people, but they want to cause harm to a company or an entity that they feel like, is doing something. It's not that I want, bodies laying out all over the place.
and that's what's interesting is you have kind of sympathy for him because of his daughter, but also that he's crazy because he's just blowing up high schools and everything. And that one he didn't warn anybody. He just put up there and blew everybody up.
Yeah.
Um, but
Well, that
it's
was a personal grievance, though, because if
right.
you remember the beginning of that scene, he's listening to those girls talk about, oh, I got pregnant or
All right.
something, or
Yeah,
somebody
yeah,
got
yeah.
pregnant,
Yeah.
and we're gonna talk about getting an abortion or something like that. And I think that like
Yeah.
set him off because
Yeah.
later on you see their bodies, in
Yeah.
the school.
Yeah, which that's another crazy thing. It isn't just like her shirt's ripped open, like, okay, we got boobs, like, but just of like weird, weird of like also, I guess, a more of like filming for TV, like we said, like that would be now you go, well, now we got to redo that shot because it shows her boobs. You
Yeah,
got to redo the shot
and
in his place, you know, like now I'm really
in
curious.
the
I need to go
film,
watch that TV.
to me, the film felt like a TV movie,
Yeah. Yeah.
but it throws you off because there is so much nudity.
Yeah.
And we should probably say too that preface this whole movie with saying that there is a lot of exploitive nudity in this film. Like it is
Yeah. And,
pretty out there and raw, and not if you're easily
and
offended by that kind of stuff, you probably should
yeah,
stay away.
and
It's very
rape and
exploitation, like I spit on your grave type of stuff.
well, and that's what's interesting when I was talking to Jennifer Ashley, where who's the guy from not the other guy from Dirty Harry, but the guy that is his boss in Dirty Harry. I said he seems like a real creep in the movie. Was a movie in the prison, Linda Blair. Um,
Oh, Caged Heat.
Yeah,
You're talking
yeah,
about John Vernon?
John Vernon. I said he seems like a real creep. She goes, no, he's a real nice guy, funny, like, and you're like, okay, like that would make it easy. Okay, I got to turn on. I got to do this. I got to be a rapist. Like, I got to choke you or do whatever. Okay, but when you see it, you're like, oh my god, And there are some people who are like traumatized by it. Like, no, I can't. You're gonna bring back something, or it brought back something, or whatever. Or
Yeah.
in Cape Fear, in the original Cape Fear, where he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to take these eggs and smear them on you," and she's like, "Okay, go for it, let's do it."
Yeah.
But yeah, so there is that going on. And so now he's talked to the woman at the hospital, the one that was raped, and now he's like, okay, well, the bomb went off, so we got to find stop Butters. So we got to find, it was like a you thought there was an earthquake. If you're watching the video,
I know.
earthquake.
Hey, I can do that too.
There you go. Um, so he so now he's figured out, okay, the guy that set the bomb is got to be, this guy saw him, the rapist. So now we got to
Yeah.
find the rapist. And the other thing with the bomb thing, before clocks were invented to do timers, they used to just do this. One guy that they said on that commentary with that detective was, one guy set like a big long fuse so that he could light this fuse, go across town, set another one and another one, and set them all off together,
Oh,
but the fuses were timed. And he goes, and the
yeah.
one was going and it never blew up because it just went out. And so the
Too long.
girl,
Yeah, it's too
so
long.
the girl was like, well, what could cause that? And he goes, might be condensation. He goes, we have it with fireworks where there's so much handling of the firework that by the time you go to light
Yeah.
it won't light because the oils on your hands got on the fuse and now the fuse won't light. And he said, or just like the fuse might have a little cut in it, so it'll just stop right there and it won't go. It needs to be that whole fuse. And so it was just
Yeah.
interesting. It just went out, and and now you're like, oh, how come that never went off? But those are just interesting things.
Yeah, he's mostly I think exclusively using dynamite, right?
Yeah.
Like that's his
Yeah.
bomb of choice.
Yeah. He's, on that commercial, you see him open the thing and he's got all the clocks. Like, you're like, you're going to wind them all at once.
Yeah, and all the bombings are super interesting. Like what he chooses to bomb. Like there's a women's club at LAX airport at the I think it's at this maybe it's near Century City. He's at some sort of like airport hotel and he's like
a Hyatt.
there's some sort of women's liberation or women's lib luncheon and he just puts a bomb under a silver platter.
Well,
and then gets back on the elevator.
And that's where they
and
said,
just lets it rip.
Kind of like you said with the school where he wasn't planning it, but now he hears them talking and he's like, okay, fuck them. And he puts it in the thing with the food. And that guy's like, here's your food. And then he's going down in the elevator and the thing shakes. Really cool elevator, by the way.
Yeah.
And
there, if you noticed too, when he's in that elevator, there's a billboard outside and it says the billboard is for Century City. So it's like probably a new, Century City was probably pretty new, like early 70s. I think that's where they shot that Conquest of the Planet of the Apes.
Oh,
or
right.
That may have been Universal, I can't remember. But yeah, that Century City area, because it was futuristic looking at the time.
Yeah.
So it was cool to see that billboard back there, like promoting, that it's like brand new to the area and stuff like that. And that's another thing I had in my notes too about this movie is the Mad Bomber has to walk everywhere because he doesn't have a car.
Yeah.
So this is a great movie like Model Shop and the Outside Man.
Yeah.
Of just like early 70s, like seeing everything in LA, like how it was.
Yeah.
The streets, the cars, the shops, the grocery store that you mentioned.
Yeah.
Just all that stuff is really cool because I've had the good fortune to be able to go to LA like dozens and dozens and dozens of times over my life, and to see all these things in this movie as they were, and I can kind of like you kind of get the feeling like I've been there before, but it's different.
Yeah,
And
it's like
to see all that stuff is really cool. Like
a lot of those roads are the same.
I was gonna say also too, like
oh, go ahead.
yeah, no, I was gonna say like there's a scene in like Venice Beach. There's a couple of Venice Beach scenes like where he lives, like in his little beach house.
Yeah.
I've been there. I know where that street is. I know where that beach access is. So it's really cool to see.
Yeah, because they were saying that's still there. They showed that where the road goes right out to the beach, but that a building was put right next to the building. But those are all cool. The store, when you get to see, like, first of all, you're like, oh, Pepsi promos, like Pepsi sign up in the back. And then he walks by Pepsi and then he gets up to the thing. There's more Pepsi. And but that thing of him being angry with like the peaches say that they were this much, and they're like, oh no, it changed today was a change. And he gets mad, and that manager is like, just give it to him. And it's like, okay. And those are the things that add to that maybe editing or watching somebody else might be like, I can get rid of that. You already had him talking to the glitterer, and you've already had him talk to the guy in the Porsche. You don't need this. No, let's add it. Like it all
Yeah,
works.
it all builds.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because he is a ticking time bomb himself, the Mad
Yeah.
Bomber. Like
Yeah.
mentally he's about to go off.
Yeah. And but then yeah, him blowing up the women's place. And then Vince Edwards finally finds now he does he I'm trying to think,
Well,
does he
well,
find
no,
double okay.
you gotta talk about the computer.
Oh yes, of course. The best computer since what was that, For Your Eyes Only?
Oh, I think this
Or
is like
Octopus or
2001
Moonraker.
level. This
Yeah.
is like the early HAL 9000 in operation here.
But what's funny when they're doing that, like the guy said, I remember the identikit. He goes, we used to have an identikit that
Yeah,
the
yeah,
bomber detective. And he was like, that was a big thing, like identikit. And you could see it working. Like we used to have those where you could put your superheroes together and make them whatever you wanted, different
yeah.
pictures. And
That
you could
that
see
made
that,
sense, but
but what,
it's the actual computer room that is
yeah,
just so far fetched.
yeah,
It's like they're trying to figure out a profile for Chuck Connors,
yeah,
and so they go into this like giant dot matrix wonderland with
yeah,
reel-to-reel computer disks and stuff like that all spinning, and they have like a super hot chick running all of it,
yeah,
and they ask it questions like, who would do this kind of thing? And do we have cases for this? And it kind of like types out its answer almost like an AI.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
And,
like
it's
he's a
so
loner.
far-fetched.
Yeah,
And when you first watch it, you're like, holy shit, did this really exist? Like, is this a real thing?
yeah,
Did
yeah,
is this something that, and it's not, it's just something that I think it was like something that they thought computers could do within the next year or so,
yeah.
maybe.
That
But yeah,
detective was like, this is what they thought it could do, but it couldn't.
yeah,
And
yeah,
what was interesting that he said even today is the thing of you have to just call other people and be like, does this match with your guy? And they have to go look through a file and be like, hang on, let
yeah,
me see. Okay, yeah, this guy's a loner. This, we had this, as opposed to just putting it into a computer. Like even now, it doesn't, do that. And
right.
something that he said on there and then we'll get back to the identikit. Something that he said was really interesting to me was he said bomb work is the only thing in the police department that all across the board training is the same. But like police officers in Phoenix, police officers in Texas, like police officers, like they're all trained different. But when it comes to bomb guys, the Phoenix bomb guys are going to be the same as Dallas bomb guys, and Fort Lauderdale bomb guys.
Yeah, it's pretty
So
universal.
so it's really cool. It's weird that they don't have that all across the board for everything, like, for cops and for whatnot. But it is interesting, like I said, the one on is it Moonraker where he puts the guy's face together, or is it For Your Eyes Only, or is it Octopussy? I think it's
Oh
For Your
man,
Eyes
I can't
Only, I want to
remember.
say. I think it's For Your Eyes Only.
Yeah,
But it's that thing of on For Your where he's got the tie and the suit on, and the next thing you see, he's got the jacket off and tie loosened. And then next thing you see is like the tie's gone,
yeah,
like in the Bond movie. But it's
right.
funny when they show these pictures, and Neville Brand's like, no, he had a nose different. And you're looking at it going, these are pictures of Chuck Connors. We're just putting Chuck Connors' face slowly together. Because when it shows Chuck Connors, it's a picture of Chuck Connors. It's not a
Yeah,
amalgamation of what could be.
right. Yeah,
And so you're like, at least do something, do it like a drawing or something. But it was funny where it's like, he's like, no, the nose was different. And that was. But again, I kind of like that I like it in the Bond film. I like it in this, where they kind of take that time to like, what's the guy look like? Okay, I need this. Do you want to go away to prison? You need to know. Okay, hang on, and puts it
Yeah.
together. And um and then
Yeah,
like
because they
that's
kind of set up Neville Brand, the rapist. They set him up with, they try to go out and put undercover people out for him to try to
yeah,
assault so they can catch all the rapists
yeah, yeah,
and round him up. And they finally do catch him,
yeah.
and now they have him, and they know that he's seen the Mad Bomber, so they have to convince him to help them get this guy. And I guess is it that he'll get like some sort of like deal or something if he,
I would
he'll be allowed to go back and rape
I would
if he
that's
helps them
my
find the bomber.
that's my thing, was
That's
where
so
he's not
stupid.
just a rapist, he killed the other girl in
Yeah,
the
he choked
forest,
her.
like,
Yeah,
but maybe nobody knows about her. But um but it is funny where him figuring that out. And what was I gonna say was that yeah, Neville, like, the guy, like when Vince Edwards puts a gun to him and is like, I'm gonna fucking blow your head off, like you need to, and you're like, Jesus Christ, like slow down. And um but damn it, what was I gonna say? It was the but yeah, so now they know who he is. They're like, okay, this is who we're looking for. And but there is that interesting part before that we've already kind of talked about. But when he goes to Neville Brand's house, cops
yeah,
need, like, if the door was open or you have a search warrant, you can do that. He's like, do you have a key for this? And she's like, no, for that little guest house in the back, Neville Brand's place. And he's like, okay. And he unzips
yeah.
his little lockpicking kit, which he only has one thing in, not both, but puts it in there, jiggles it, and opens it and walks in. And then she's just kind of like, oh yeah, that's me. I'm nude and I do these things. And then um and then all of a sudden,
Such a
yeah, well, we
Yeah, it's
like the
just such a
videos,
weird. I
yeah.
mean, it's yeah. Like they go to Neville Brand's house. He's got a nice pool. It's a
Mhm.
decent suburban house.
Here's
He's
what's
got
funny. Did
kids.
did you notice, this was just a continuity error? When the cop is there, the pool is full. When Chuck Connors goes to blow it up, the pool is half full. Like, and it
Oh, I
looks
didn't
more
notice
dirty
that.
than
No.
before. Yeah. Um,
Yeah,
but
but yeah, he's got
yeah.
our friendly family man rapist has a whack shack, so to speak,
Yeah.
in the back with all these photos of his wife that are nude and all this
And
stuff. And he has a projector. He's made like
yeah.
basically his own personal stag films up, but just of his wife. Like
Yeah.
there's no other women. It's like he enjoys making pornography of his wife, but also he likes to rape
He likes to rape other women. Yeah.
unknowns on the
Yeah.
side. Yeah, he rapes other
Yeah.
women on the side.
Yeah.
So it's just bizarre. It's just really bizarre. Also, that projector that he has in the Wax Shack is I have that exact projector, that same model number. I've had it for
in
forever.
your
So
in your
now,
whack shack.
but yeah, yeah, it may be behind me.
It's
Yeah, it is. It
oh,
actually is.
okay.
If you
Oh
see it
yeah,
right
I
over my
see it.
shoulder,
Yeah, yeah,
that's the
yeah.
same
It's the
projector that's in that movie.
the
Um,
it's interesting too, where his wife is like, I'm not allowed in there. He doesn't want anybody in there. And then it's stuff that really she'd be like, oh wow, it's all me. Like, thank you. But instead she's like, I'm not allowed in there.
yeah.
Um, but now they release, yeah, yeah, because they released the rapist.
Hmm.
So I don't know if is he going to, because he's waiting for a court date, but he's at home now and he's
And
watching
he's
it.
in a luxurious silk red robe.
Yeah, which is great too. When they show up before that, when he goes to plead, like they're like, for it's a traffic ticket, we need you to come down. He's like, really? It's 6 a.m, like right now? And they're like, yeah. He's like, oh motherfucker. And it's just so natural, like so realistic.
What is that
And
he said when the cops come to pick him up, and he goes, "You come to pick me up at 6 a.m. in the morning for a traffic stop? No."
yeah, they're like, you're coming with us. And then he's released and he goes home, and some people are protesting, right, that you let him go. Isn't that how
Yeah.
Connors finds out where he
I think
lives or whatever?
so. Yeah. Well, no, they put it in the paper,
Yeah,
I think, and
yeah.
yeah, and so he or something like that. Yeah, and then he goes to the. Was that when he's in the diner? Because I've been to that diner too. That diner is in some stuff too.
I think so. I was
Uh,
gonna make for the show. I was gonna make a cheese sandwich, and what does he have? Coffee and a cheese sandwich. Um, I looked up. I
well,
looked
no,
up on Google.
he tells the waitress. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, he tells the
but
waitress, he goes, what was it he said? He's like, when you look at me like a human being. Now get me a cheese sandwich and some coffee.
yeah, yeah, because she just like, what'll it be? And she's looking at her fucking paper, and he's at her check, her thing that she writes the ticket on, and he's like, look at me, and she's like, all right, and and then but that was the thing. I look up what is a cheese sandwich? Is a grill because in Psycho 2, he's I think in Psycho he's having a cheese sandwich. Psycho
Cheese
2,
sandwich, yeah.
he's talking about how his mom used to make cheese sandwiches. And so I'm like, what is a cheese? So it's just any kind of cheese with like mayonnaise and mustard that you can put in there. You can cook it if you want, kind of like grilled cheese, a little bit,
Yeah, it's like
toast
a
it or
grilled
something.
cheese.
Yeah, but not as, but you can do it just like with
Regular,
just
yeah, without
regular.
melting.
And it's like, okay, that's weird. But maybe I'll have one
Yeah.
later. But anyway, yeah, it's always funny back then, like cheese sandwiches. Um, but yeah, so there's that. Now he's still a jerk, but I think he's more likable than anybody else. Maybe it's the world today that we're
Yeah.
like, hey, I like Chuck Connors. He's still a despicable person blowing up people. But
Yeah.
then, oh yeah,
Well,
and
I mean,
then
they do make him somewhat sympathetic because
yeah,
his daughter, who he really loved, died of a drug overdose, and
yeah,
instead of it is odd that he didn't like directly just try to go, find the people that. I mean, I guess he kind of does, but it seems like his anger is more towards everything instead of focused on
yeah.
the drug dealer. It's just like I'm just going to take everybody out. The
I
whole society I blame for this. You know.
exactly. I just realized that this ties with the new Matlock because her daughter died. Spoiler alert, but watch season 1 maybe. But they're already on season 2. But their daughter died from um from an overdose, but it was
Mm,
from like a company that makes drugs. And so there she goes to work for the law company that defended those people, and she wants to find out what she can. And so she pretends that her name's Matlock from an old 90s show and blah blah blah, and they're like, okay, that's okay. And she
okay.
plays like she's a southern girl who doesn't know much, and really she's lives in a mansion and she's got all kinds of money, her and her husband, who
Yeah.
is the principal from Growing Pains. But anyway, um, but that was the same thing. Like, go after the drug company, don't go, or whatever, go after those, don't go after everybody who wronged you. But then
Yeah.
again, that's what makes a crazy person. Is like, well, why did you do that? Well, because I hate, that person wronged me, and so did this one. Like, can't you just let it go? It's like people with anger issues who I'm just like, let it go. And they're like, no, that guy pissed me off. I'm seeing red and I want to punch somebody. And you're like,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
like whatever. Um,
Yeah.
but so yeah, like you said, they talked to his wife, who I watched the interview with her. She was in the last movie with Dennis Hopper. And she said on that set, they were doing LSD, they were doing Coke. He's like, you want some Coke? And she's like, no. She starts to talk bad about how he got burned out from drugs. She's like, I don't want to say anymore. And I'm like, oh, that's good. It's
Yeah.
nice of her to not just be like, I think this was, but she said they
Yeah.
knew.
I watched the last movie recently for the first time. I could
Did you?
tell there were a lot of drugs going on in
She
that
said,
movie.
you and I talked about the Megadoc documentary. She said there was
Mm,
no vision. He lost his vision and it just became whatever it became. And I'm like, I could
yeah.
see that. And then she came back and then she was in this movie, maybe a couple more. And then she got out of acting and did photography and, worked with, Gloria Steinem and all those kind of people.
Yeah.
But yeah, her playing his wife, who's like, yeah, our kid died, and he's angry, and that's what else you always hear about. If you have a child who dies, it separates you both. Like now you're,
Yeah.
one of you is really messed up. It's like Keanu Reeves had that with his ex-girlfriend from way back in the day. She got pregnant and then lost the baby. She was devastated, and he was like, okay, I'll deal with it. Not that he's, heartless, but then she ends up getting in like a car wreck and dying. Um, sorry to bring the show down.
Yeah. Thanks a lot. I'm
But
gonna leave.
yeah, I know. Well, okay, bye. So so
We
it's
haven't even gotten to the scene yet.
I know. But so she tells him that. So now they're like, okay, they know who they're looking for. They're gonna go get him, but they haven't got him yet. And now Neville Brand is at home. He's, gotten released, whatever, we don't know. And he's watching his wife's porno movie, or her just naked, maybe not even a porno movie, her just dancing around naked it's like a little like what you dust with, like a maid outfit, but only the apron at the bottom.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, like, he's whacking it. And this is something where when you said,
The
oh my God,
Whack
that was
Shack is a
you
pretty nice place.
when you said at the whack shack,
Yeah.
where
Whack Shack, baby.
that's right, where you said like, oh my God. And I'm like, either I was an idiot, not thinking he was masturbating, just thinking he was, I don't know, breathing heavy. Maybe he had, OC, what's that? Couldn't breathe right. He needed
Well,
Taylor.
part of it too is like if you've ever seen Neville Brand in anything, like Eaten Alive or something like
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
he's kind of like
Always
when he gets
plays a
excited, he
creeper.
gets
Yeah,
yeah, he's always like very hyperventilated, and so in this scene, he's actually like playing with himself, watching
yeah.
his wife's videos,
But
and
all
I'll
you,
let you
but all
continue.
you see is like the chest up, and he's like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and it cuts
And
to
it's
her.
all intercut very quickly,
Yeah,
but you're also intercutting to Chuck Connors again walking
yeah,
down the street, which at first you do not put those two together.
yeah, yep.
You just think he's going to another bombing, and then when it starts to intercut
Then he
closer, you're
comes,
like,
yeah, walks
oh
by the
shit.
pool, and you're like, oh shit, he's
Yeah,
there. Yeah,
yeah.
and then goes to the window, cuts open the screen, and then just puts the bomb in
Mhm.
there. Doesn't throw it in there, just places it
Yeah,
on the
very he's just
table.
very casually like a DoorDash delivery. He just puts it on the table and just
Yeah,
quietly. Oh no, actually he jumps over the lawn, the pool chairs and
that's right.
stuff like
Yeah,
that. He like leaps over them to get out
yeah,
of the way.
yeah. Uh,
And then as Neville Brand comes to his
Climax.
climax, the bomb goes off, and it's intercut with him orgasming with the bomb going off in the
Yeah,
Wax
blowing
Shack
out the
as Chuck
window,
Connors
and yeah.
walks away.
Uh,
And I mean, just Academy Award winning scene. I
yeah,
mean, just
the
come on.
this is why 70s movies were so good. The audacity, like, you couldn't do that today. Um, you know, like, and then like the story of it, like, and everything, the way it was done, like, you didn't not like Night of the Juggler as much as I did, but Night of the Juggler was one filmed in like 79, coming out in 80. But that was like done, like this whole chase scene, like this whole stuff where you're like, oh my God, they're really doing this. This is one
Yeah.
where the story is like totally different. And then being like, oh yeah, we're gonna blow up that guy. Like, he's not gonna be your hero that, Chuck Connors found out he ratted on him, and now he's gonna blow him up. And that, yeah, he needs to be blown up because he's a rapist. And now Chuck Connors is like, and it's not there when he's walking, because then he gets another bomb. And I don't know if I'm jumping way ahead, but he goes by that gas station, and that guy and his girlfriend are kind of
Oh
arguing.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And the orange motorcycle.
yeah. And
Yeah, he gets that orange motorcycle, and this is the only part of the movie that kind of veers off. But there are scenes where Vince Edwards is interviewing Chuck Connor's old boss in like a factory
yeah,
or wherever, and then after this there's gas station scene, he steals a person's motorcycle bike and with a
mhm,
buggy on it, and goes to his old factory for some reason to blow them up, that they fired him or whatever for being weird or something.
yeah,
And and then there's a whole chase scene in there, and he gets away. But that scene seemed kind of like didn't have to have that. I think we're after the Whack Shack scene, we're all bought in. Like,
Yeah.
you know, let's get the main chase going.
Yeah.
You know.
But also, though, it's still the thing of they're, he gets on the motorcycle, takes off. Oh yeah, because he sees the cops at his place. That's right. My
Yeah.
whole computer went down. My dog hit the thing, and I had to do whatever. Anyway,
Oh.
the just the screen. But that's the cool part where that, like you said, that apartment is still there. You can go, like they had pictures from when Vince Edwards coming down the thing to go in to look at Connor's place. And they're going through it's like I said, they take time, the procedural stuff. That's what I hate about the new shows that I've talked about for procedurals, where they'll have like Chicago PD that me and the wife watch. We haven't watched it for a while, but they'll all be sitting around a computer, right? And they're like, well, what happened? What do we know about this guy? Well, we know that in 1973, he was born and he did. And then it goes to, then the other person hands off. And then in 1980, and they got a whole different thing. And you're like, it should all be on one thing. One guy can read it.
Yeah.
But
and those procedural current shows are all like cookie cutter.
Yeah.
Shows, they all do the same setups, and you could basically set your watch by the beats.
Exactly. But that's why
what's cool about this film too is that it is low budget, and you could tell like even the lighting is like kind of half-assed, like almost like a porno movie from the early 70s, just kind of like whatever's available in the interiors. Like even the grocery store scene, I could see the cables.
Oh yeah,
for the light on the floor.
Oh, it's funny, yeah.
And so they were obviously moving fast, and it's weird because the nighttime stuff is lit pretty artistically.
Yeah,
but the daytime interiors are just like, ugh, they're just very flat.
But also like,
but when they are going through his apartment, I was going to go back to your point too, is that it is very crude and. Just there is no computer. They gotta like search through shit. They gotta look at stuff.
The newspapers, and he's like, "Wait a minute, here's this paper. Hang on, what do you got over there? This was named whatever. Oh, okay, I got this one too.
Go through all these. Go through this
and that was cool. And it was cool that then he shows up and sees them there and like backs away, like okay, like I'm gone, and then like we said, steals that motorcycle with the sidecar. Where I'm wondering two things. Well, one thing maybe. I was like, did Chuck Connors know how to ride a motorcycle? Or was he like, give me one with a sidecar, I can do that. Okay, we'll do that. That one's
come on,
easier.
Man. Chuck Connors can ride a motorcycle.
I'm sure if he can do
that. He was a freaking quarterback. Come on.
Do that gun. And I know you're tired of me talking about James Cameron, but I think James Cameron saw Rifleman and was like, we need a shotgun like that for Terminator 2. Like, and it works.
Yeah.
You ever see the shot where he hits Edward Furlong in the head with it when he's going to put it back in the holster?
Oh no,
on the motorcycle. Yeah, he like brings it back and Edward Furlong donk. Anyway, but all of that, and now they're at, like, they talk to his boss or whatever, and they're at that warehouse. And this part I like too, where I like just the regular stuff of like, okay, everybody stay. And that one guy's just standing outside the door, that cop. And he's like, hey, dude, fucking get back in there. And the guy's like, oh, shit. Okay. It's that stuff where normally you would just have them waiting and then he'd show up and that would be it, but those little things kind of matter and make it important, even though it's not important.
Yeah. And there's some cool scenes too where, I don't know if you remember, but Vince Edwards was in his car with a big tape recorder and he's just recording the procedural stuff that I'm going here and this, and that reminded me of of course I'm going to make another Twin Peaks reference, but that's Dale Cooper, like Diane, I'm going into Twin Peaks at this population so and so, and I guess that's kind of Dragnet-y too, but but on Dragnet they never had did the recordings. Dragnet's a good one though, but
But Dragnet was always like, "You're smoking dope. You're gonna fry your brain," and they're like, "Whatever."
But even though the technology in this
But
thing is crude,
yeah,
it's still there,
but
like
it's
tape
it, but it's
recorders,
but it's
Super 8
1973. Yeah,
photography.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know, it's everything that they had available at the time, you know,
yeah.
and they
And
use all of it.
it wasn't like I've seen in movies where they have the bigger, cassette recorder. They'll have that in the car running on batteries, and they'll hit the record
Yeah.
play button. This one is
Well, this is
okay. They
what year is
upgraded
this?
to a
72?
73. Yeah, recorded in 72, made in 72, came out in
Okay.
73. Yeah,
But they have cassettes
yeah,
like that
yeah,
we
yeah,
grew up with.
yeah,
And I remember not getting those until like mid 80s.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, because you were like, we had 8 tracks. What happened? Um,
well, we
but
had records.
yeah,
I mean, I didn't
yeah,
get into cassettes till after records, and that
yeah.
was
Me neither. Yeah,
like 84, 5
yeah.
maybe, something like that.
86 maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
So that was way ahead of its time.
but yeah, that is cool to see that, like you said, with him recording his like, here's what I'm doing, here's where I'm going, and which is very cool. And now you got Chuck Connors on the run. They're waiting. They see him coming on the motorcycle, and they're like, okay, get ready. And he turns, and they're like, okay, he went over there. And then what is it? The one cop shoots at him, and now he's like blows their cover, and he takes off.
Yeah.
And is that when he jumps off the motorcycle and then it
Yeah, he
hits the
jumps
thing
off
and
and then it
blows up?
hits the thing and blows
Yeah.
up. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
where
Like you
which
said.
cool too, where he hits the thing first. Nothing. I'm like, oh, I thought it would be like an '80s movie. He'd hit that thing and everything would blow up. He goes through those like cans or whatever, and then stops. Then the thing blows up. Like when he's already off of it, but then the motorcycle
Yeah.
and everything blows up from the bomb, and it's really
Yeah.
cool. Um, and now he runs, and now he's in a van. And here's the other cool thing that you didn't need to do. He's driving that same route over and over, and Vince Edwards is following him, and he calls his boss and says, what's going on? And the boss is like, are you fucking serious? He's went down there. He's got off at Pico. He went up and he went
Yeah.
around, and he's been doing the same thing. And they're like, what's he doing? We don't know what he's doing. And then,
Yeah.
and I don't think they say it, but you realize later when he gets into town that they had the wife. They don't cut to a scene where they're like, hey, ex-wife, we need you here to bring him out. Right? Or did
Yeah.
I miss it? Yeah. They
No,
just
no, no.
show her there.
And but you're not even sure if
Right. If he's
I don't even know
seeing,
if that's real.
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't think it was. I think it's just something that
She
maybe he saw, but you could also
she
turn
said
that the other way and say
the
that,
the actress said that was them bringing him out. That
okay, all right.
they told her to be there, and that's why she runs away around the corner, because she's like, oh shit, and then he goes to follow her. Um,
I just
and
thought that was a bit of a stretch that he would
it,
actually stop right there and she would be
yeah,
there. I thought that was a little
yeah,
far-fetched, but
very,
to me it was more of a he just sees like maybe
but
a vision of her. But I get what you're
it
saying.
makes sense if he's going that same thing. They're like, okay, get the wife to
Yeah.
get. He's
Yeah.
gonna go by the Lufthansa building, put the wife there, which they did say the year
Well, they also
before.
blocked the
Right.
street off with that truck, so he
They
couldn't get by.
they said a year before this, that detective said the Lufthansa building was like bombed. And like, that
Yeah.
building that he drives by, he goes, it's really weird. That was bombed. He said, there's an IHOP across from the gas station or wherever around there. And he goes, that IHOP is still there. And he goes, there was a cop there, and somebody had put the Liberation Army, the people that kidnapped Patty Hearst. They
Hmm.
said they put a bomb under the cop car. And he
Yeah.
said, luckily, like they didn't know what they were doing and it wasn't activated, but it was under there. And so a cop found it under his cop car. And that was right there. So he goes, it's kind of weird that these bombing things happened when you're going through LA in this movie. But yeah, they block him off in the front. Then he goes to back up and they block him off again with North American, North Atlantic. And now he's kind of stuck there, but he's also watching the wife. And then she goes, and he's got like explosives in the van, like he's ready. And then it goes to him getting out of the van. The part that I love is when he's following her, It's of course a movie moment. I just love how it's done. I love when scenes are done this way. He's going after her. You're focused on him going after his wife. And then all of a sudden, behind him, the camera kind of slowly pans over on that truck. And there's Vince Edwards behind the truck, like getting out of the driver's
Yeah.
seat, like coming. And you're like, oh shit. And then, he does he fire at him or he runs away? Does Vince Edwards
He runs
fire?
away.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does. Yeah. Yeah, he hits.
Okay.
He
Yeah.
runs
And then
away.
he
Yeah, he
runs.
hits him. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. And then he runs away. And now he shot him again, I think. And that's when he falls. And
Yeah.
he's reaching for the bomb. And that's what else is right before he sees his wife. He's ready to put the little connection, the metal to metal, and he stops.
Yeah.
And then when he gets out, now he's either activated it and realize it, and he goes to grab for it. And that explosion, like, I love it.
Yeah, I did
there's a
too.
movie called Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things, has this priest falling down, hitting all the rocks. It's totally a dummy. This one, it explodes. Like half of his face is gone, his arms. It's a
Yeah, it's just like
mannequin, but
if
it
you look at
looks.
if you look at it after it explodes and they cut back to all the meaty flesh
Yeah.
coming off, it's
Yeah.
just like the top of his chin is the only
Yeah.
thing
And it's
left
like
to his
bone. It's
torso.
like white. Yeah.
Yeah, bone. Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah.
And I was so glad to see that scene and how graphic it was because how do you top that pool house whack shack
Yeah.
scene?
Yeah.
You've got to top that
Yeah. And
because, that should have been the end of the movie.
yeah,
I
because
mean, the only thing that would have been better is if Neville Brand showed up all disheveled and burned.
yeah, dusting off his red robe.
Right.
That's the thing though too with as a movie, that you gotta do something like, and so when you blow up the bad guy and then cut to that song that his daughter sang, you're just
Yeah.
like, oh, now you walk out of the theater and you go, wow, that was really cool. That's a good movie. Like,
Yeah, and it had a cool like upshot of Vince Edwards too.
yeah, him holding
And
the gun.
I
Yeah,
didn't know that this was like a planned series, so I would have loved to have,
there was
seen like, what was this character's name? Like so and so will return.
Geronimo,
Yeah, Geronimo will
Manelli,
return.
Manelli. Yeah, it'd be like a James Bond. Geronimo will be back. Yeah, it was. I loved it. So when I first saw this movie back when I saw it, I was like, oh, like I rated it right away. We'll get to that now. The reviews. I don't have a official review. I'm sorry I didn't do that, but there was none on Rotten Tomatoes. Just like with our regular, when I reach out to listener opinions, some people haven't seen this movie. So that's why I was like, hey, it's available on Tubi, everybody. You can go see it. But first of all, in this movie, did you see anything you think Tarantino might have liked or used in a film? I could see
Yeah, I
him.
mean, I think the whole vibe of it is
Yeah.
very, very, very Quentin-esque,
uh,
the
uh,
crudeness of it, especially
And,
all the driving stuff around LA, just
yeah,
like I was talking about with Model Shop,
yeah,
it
and
has that
and that
LA sort of vibe.
and that was a complaint that you heard about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was people like, oh my God, do I need to follow Brad Pitt from Cielo Drive all the way to his fucking? Yeah, we do. It was cool, like a cool
Yeah,
hang.
that's what's cool.
And then the thing of with this of being so different, like when you watch The Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3, and you're like, oh my God, like so clever, like just
Yeah.
you know
And you could totally see this as like a Rick Dalton vehicle too.
yeah,
He could have easily been
yeah, could have been
the
Chuck
Vince Edwards
Connors
role.
or Vincent.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
thinking either Chuck Connors or but that's that other thing where they were saying, I forget where it was. I think it was with the daughter was saying that, or maybe but it was Chuck Connors, like when you're not like in your prime anymore at the height, like now you got to go look for work because work won't come to you. So you got to go apply and go test for these things. And so he does this and Tourist Trap. And sometimes on those, like I used to feel this way, but now I know that some people had fun. Joan Collins in Trog, where you're like, oh my God, poor Joan Collins. Like I'm Joan Collins. Joan fuck.
Crawford.
My girl. Thank you, Joan Crawford. Where you're like, oh, poor Joan Crawford. She's like Hollywood, golden Hollywood, like golden age. Like, what's going
Yeah.
on? Why is she in this? But then you hear that she was totally professional, had fun. That movie you sent me, Straight Jacket, like amazing. Um,
Oh yeah, that's great.
like, yeah, all of those where it's and so that's where with Chuck Connors, I remember watching Tourist Trap being like, I saw that before this, and I was like, oh, poor Chuck Connors. Like, is he like, oh, I'm slumming it? I'm going to be in this movie. No, he probably had fun. Like, I can be a bad guy. It's like, I've told this story before. Forgive me if I bore you, but on the movie Pay It Forward, where Angela, policewoman,
Dickinson,
Angela Dickinson, she was like, Angela? Anyway,
Angie.
Angie Dickinson. She was like, she calls Gregory Peck and she's like, they want me to be in this movie. I'm playing a hobo. I'm going to look like shit. I live in a train car and I'm, Helen Hunt's mother and what the fuck. And Gregory Peck was like, no, you fucking take that role. That sounds like a meaty role and you dirty yourself up as much as you can. Like you get into it.
Yeah.
And she's like,
And he
oh.
also said, "Did you not see Trancers? Helen Hunt's amazing in that."
Yeah, exactly. So he's like, okay. So she did it. But those are the things where you can see an actor being like, oh, in Hollywood, in the golden age, I would love to do this, but now I can do
Yeah.
this. I can be in Trog, I can be in Straight Jacket. But yeah, I see Quentin liking this because it's so different. It's so 70s. That's why he likes those 70s movies. Like you don't get anything like this anymore. And our rating system here is 1 to 5, 5 being the best. I give this 4 out of 5. What do you give it?
I'm gonna give it 4.
All right. Nice.
Make that 4 for gore.
That's right. Four fingers for the Whack Shack. Would you buy this movie, rent it, or find it for free? We both own it. Mine's over there by the
Oh
cheap.
yeah.
I don't have it with me, but
Yeah. I bought it, and like I said, it was on our top 10 show that we did together. I really enjoyed it. It's one of those movies where it's not the greatest movie of all time, but it has so many cool scenes and little moments that you could tell somebody, like the Whack Shack scene, you'd be like, you're not going to believe the scene that's in this movie.
Well,
and they're never gonna watch The Mad Bomber, and that's fine with me. But at least I got to tell them about this scene, and they're gonna tell their friends about that scene that I just told them about.
Yeah, it's those things that Quentin also talks about. Like you'd go to school and he'd be like, "Oh my God, did you see blah blah blah?" You'd talk about it. It's like for you and me, when you saw V at night on the miniseries on TV live, then you go to school the next day and you're like, "Oh my God, did you see that?" And he fucking, he's a lizard underneath
ripped
or
its
whatever,
face off,
and you're like, holy shit. But also, the thing of, what were we saying? I could see, like right away, like all you need to tell people is, oh, it's about a cop looking for a rapist who saw a bomber to catch the bomber. And right away, I was like, oh my God, I'm in. This sounds crazy. Like, yes, give it to me. So yeah. It's amazing. But you want to get to Phil's film favorite of the week?
Yeah, tell us about the Whack Shack.
This one I saw. It's called Taboo 2. No. This Nightmare Alley. This is a 2025, the black and white one. So I watched that last night. The tagline, man or beast. The plot, an ambitious carnival man with a talent for manipulating people with a few well-chose words. Choses?
Chosen?
I think it misspelled it. Well, yeah, I think it meant chosen, but it didn't, right? Anyway, my autocorrect sucks. Well-chosen words hooks up with a female psychologist who is even more dangerous than he is. I give it 5 stars. So I think the original I gave 4. I watched this one. It's edited a little different. The black and white, he talked about it. I forget who the director was, but he talked to this old director. I think it was a Mexican director that he used to work with. The guy was like, if you film in like greens, and not greens, but like oranges and things like that, like you can do a black and white movie easily. And so
Yeah.
he said, when I did Shape of Water, I wanted that black and white. And he said, but of course the studios were like, we'll give you more money if you make it in color. And he's like, all right, I'll take the money. So he said this time he was like, oh, so we filmed it. It looks great in color. In black and white, it looks like a noir, like a cool, just the lighting, like everything, it just works. And it's like,
Yeah.
loved it. And
Yeah, I saw it twice at the movies,
mhm,
but in color. I didn't, and they
yeah,
did. I think they did. I think they released that black and white version in theaters, like briefly.
they might have, but that's what's
Yeah.
cool about like physical media, like that they release this so you can get it on Criterion, the color or the black and white one. Like you have that like special. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's, I recommend it highly to anyone who hasn't seen it or doesn't know. Wait for a Criterion sale and go get it. It's in 4K.
And
Yeah.
if you'd like to see more black and white films, go to
Ah,
Cinema Force and check out our series Better in Black and White, where
that's
we take color films and say, are these better in black and white?
that's right. Batman, Hotspot,
Yeah, and
uh,
actually,
oh,
three of our films,
Trancers.
and that's three of the films in our series have been officially re-released in black and white since we did those.
Oh wow.
Trancers,
Wow.
The Last Seduction is coming out in black and white,
Oh wow.
and Texasville, the sequel
Oh
to Last
wow.
Picture Show.
Yeah.
So
That makes sense for
somebody's watching the channel.
yeah,
Just
makes
that's all I'm
sense.
saying.
Makes sense for Texasville, but then again, like I said, for Guillermo del Toro, it's like cool that he filmed with certain colors. Like now you're gonna have to retroactively go back to make Texasville black and white, where you can't, where all you're doing is turning it down. Or, but then again, like we said with Mad Max Blood and Chrome, he was able to kind of tweak the colors and make it, pop. Or
Yeah,
like Logan, they
yeah.
did that with Logan too. They put out the black and
Did
white
they?
version.
I think they did a black and white of Furiosa too. I
Oh,
could be
did they?
wrong, but I think they did.
They might
Yeah,
they might have. I know the beginning of it starts with that black and white, right? And the apple's red and then it goes into color or something. Man, that opening
yeah,
of that is so
yeah,
good.
yeah.
Have you watched anything recently that you would like to share? Get my pen out.
Yeah, I'll talk about this one a little bit. I saw this week, and I had seen parts of it before and used parts of it for a essay on Naked Spur. But this is Anthony Mann's Side Street.
Nice.
That's on Warner Archive, and Farley Granger and Kathy O'Donnell, and like we were talking about with Matt Bomber being a great, um, uh, you know, a great what do you call it? Travelogue of Los Angeles. This is a great travelogue of New York in the 40s.
Oh, cool.
The street photography is unfriggin' believable in this movie.
Wow.
Like the
Yeah.
way man uses the city as a character. The plot's pretty simple. It's about a mail carrier guy who has a young wife who's pregnant. They live with their parents, trying to make ends meet. And he realizes that one of the people that he delivers mail to is a gangster,
Oh, wow.
and sees some money in one of the filing cabinets one day when he's delivering mail. So the next day he goes and delivers the mail under the door, and the door accidentally opens, and there's no one in there.
Oh,
And so he
wow.
looks in the drawer, and he's like tempted, and he's like, I'm just gonna take the whole file folder, and they'll never miss a couple of $100, right? And
Yeah.
so he gets back and he like opens it, and there's $60,000 in cash in there.
Wow.
And so the rest of the movie is him really just having a guilt trip, like what the fuck do I do with this money?
Yeah.
This is like too much almost. Like I'm gonna get in trouble. I can't go to the cops. I can't go to these gangsters. They'll kill me. So what do I do? So the rest of the movie is about that, and then him getting caught. And there's a huge chase at the end of the movie, which is so cool because the way man shoots the car chase in New York, and it's supposed to be on an early Sunday morning where there's no one on the streets, and they're literally doing what you were talking about with
Night of the
um,
Juggler.
Night of the Juggler, but in New
Yeah.
York in
Wow.
the 40s. and he puts like cameras way up high, like 13 stories,
Wow.
to see them like little rats in a maze, like
Yeah.
you know, like Pac-Man or something.
Yeah.
It's really
Wow.
cool. Like I was really impressed. So another cool Anthony Mann film noir to check out, Side Street.
Cool. What do you give it? What's your rating on that?
I think I gave it four and a half, somewhere in there. I can't remember
That's
exactly,
cool.
but
That's
yeah, it
really
was really
cool.
cool. It kept my attention. The photography is really beautiful. The black and white. There's some cool nightclub stuff in it, and
Cool.
you know, lots of like back alleys and cool lighting and stuff like it.
Cool.
It's really good, and it's unique because it's not like your typical police procedure. You know, it's an average Joe who, you know,
Yeah.
it's that old thing that my dad always used to say, like, what would happen if you're driving on the side of the road, you see a briefcase and you open it and it has $1 million in cash? Do you take it, or do you what do you do? Like,
Yeah.
does it ruin your life or does it make your life? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. I think I might take it. If nobody knew, I'd look for cameras. Yeah.
yeah,
I'd look for any goons watching me to make sure I took it. Um,
right.
no, that sounds awesome. I need to watch that. I wrote it down when you told me about it, so I need to see that.
And I would do an honorable mention. I did see Sentimental Value with Stellan Skarsgård and Elle Fanning, and that was really good. And
Is that the
it's
one that he won an award for at the Golden
oh,
Globes?
did he? I don't know.
That's the
I don't
newest
really
one.
watch the. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
He won an award.
yeah, it's by Von Trier. It's not the Lars Von Trier. It's another Von Trier. So
Okay.
don't be scared.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, it's a good movie too. I enjoyed it. I usually don't like movies about movies, which
Mhm.
this has that in it, but they did a good job of not making it ridiculous. You know, it seems realistic. Like
That's cool.
it's an actual serious plot point, not some sort of like, oh, we're making a movie, that kind of thing.
Yeah, not for the sake of it.
Yeah.
That's cool. So come back next week on February 13th when I will be joined by movie lover John C. for the first time for That's right. From 2019 and 2024, it's Joker and Joker Folie Deux. I know I'm going to get shit for this, guys, but I think it's going to be a really interesting conversation because we kind of feel the same way about this movie, about these movies. The plots are during the 1980s, a failed stand up comedian is driven insane and turns to a life of crime and chaos in Gotham City while becoming an infamous psychopathic crime figure. And Joker Folie Deux plot is while struggling with his dual identity, Arthur Fleck not only stumbles upon true love, but also finds the music that's always been inside him. So yeah, you can find Joker and Joker Folie Deux on HBO Max, or you could buy a physical copy. So I might own Joker.
Interesting. I've never heard of either one of those.
Oh, that's interesting. You should check them out. Go watch them
Yeah, I'll
right
have to
now.
check them out. Yeah, it sounds kind of like a comic book or
You
something.
joke. Hey, well, wait till you see Folie Deux, the beginning of that, all cartoon, like a Warner Brothers cartoon. Oh, it's great.
Well,
No,
usually on sequels, they find their footing in the first film, and the sequel is just it's great, like Spider-Man 2. So I would assume it'd be the same, right?
yeah, except no Aunt May. Aunt May would have made that better, but I actually liked it. I remember getting out of the movie. I told you the story, but I haven't told anybody else. But when I got out of that movie, the second one, I was like, honey, that was so like they took it and twisted it. Like you think it's going to be him and Harley escaping, and there's going to be this whole thing, right? And then it's not. He realized, oh yeah, I am crazy, and she's like a rich, nepo baby, whatever. And like none of that happened. And you're like, oh. And I was like, that was really cool. I go, honey, what'd you think? She goes, that's a piece of shit movie. I'm like, what? I go, honey, like I thought you'd like it. I go, didn't you like how this is like, and you're like at the time she worked at the mental institute. And I was like, I was like, don't you like it's kind of, and she's like, no, I didn't. And then I heard from a lot of people, no, this was horrible. And I'm like, well,
Yeah.
I liked that. I think he did it on purpose. It was like, we're going to make a sequel. Everybody's going to think it's going to be this, and I'm going to make it this. And so you
Yeah.
go,
I
oh,
was
the
pretty
ball's on me.
ambivalent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was pretty ambivalent on it. Like
Mm.
I thought the photography was
Yeah.
the cinematography was incredible.
Yeah. Yeah. Who
You
did
know,
that? Was that Richard, your guy that you have your book? That wasn't him, was it?
no, no, no. Not Deacons. God, yeah, I can't
Roger.
remember. Anyway, I can't remember. But yeah, it looked amazing. So,
Anyway.
but you know, the movie itself kind of it just sort of it was just sort of there. It didn't really like move me one way or the other.
Yeah. Well, and that's, yeah. So I've only seen it the once, so I can't wait to see it again. And the other one I've seen twice, so I'll get to see that again. So where can people find you? You want to push Cinema Force again before we end this thing?
Sure, I'll plug. You can go to cinemaforce.net, which will take you to the YouTube page, or just go to YouTube and type in Cinema Force, and it's a collection of cinema essays that we've been doing for the last couple years. And when I say we, I mean all the different writers that contribute to it: Michael Price, Rich Johnson, Mallory Rodak, Jennifer Upton, who's been on your show. Who else we got? Oh, some Thomas Jane guy.
I was going to say, you should get Thomas Jane on there.
Yeah, we got a bunch of new people coming in this year, hopefully.
Cool.
I got some stuff I'm doing like a little cool little thing on Jacques Demy at some point. I've been writing it for like
Cool.
6 months, so eventually I'll get it done. I think I've gotten to the point where I've overwritten it, so I got to scale it back a little bit.
And you started the Frankenheimer thing, so I can't wait
Yeah.
till that gets to Grand Prix. Like, that'll be exciting. And
Yeah, I got to get back to that and some more better in black and whites for
Yeah.
Halloween, stuff like that. And Michael Price is doing another film noir essay, which will be really cool. I think it'll be kind of a surprise to people when they see what it is. So
Cool. That's
yeah,
exciting.
so come check it out.
Awesome.
Oh,
All
and I've
right.
got
Yes.
I've got a essay coming out, which I can't talk about yet, but it'll be on second sight release. Supposed to be out already. It's not. I don't know what the delay is. So when it does, I'll let you know.
That'll be exciting. All right, then.
Cool.
Well, thank you. And thank you, everyone, for joining us. We hope you had fun and maybe learned something about a movie that may have had a part in making Tarantino. Goodbye.
Goodbye.